Okay, hey class. All right, this is an example of what I'm looking for your post. Now, mine's going to probably be just a little bit longer because I'm going to be explaining where you can get some of this information from as well. But this is what I'm looking for. Okay, so I have two garments here. I have a sweater that we're going to talk about in a second, and then I also have a pair of pants. So I have a knit and a woven. So first, we're going to talk about this knit. The knit that I'm bringing to you today, sorry, let me get closer tonight. I'm bringing you a cable knit wool and cashmere blend sweater. Okay, so when we talk about this, it's not necessary that you know all the properties of the fabric we talk about because we haven't gotten to any fabrics yet. But I'm bringing you something that is wool and cashmere sweater. This one is 90% wool and 10% cashmere, and it is a what this knit is known as a cable knit weave. So on the knitted side, it'll be a cable knit weave, and although this is a wool and cashmere sweater, you will see cable knit weaves across knitted garments everywhere. So you will see this in all wool applications, and cashmere applications, and cotton, and absolutely in synthetics. You will see this cable. You will see a cable knit application. In terms of what I love about this sweater, I love because it's wool. This is wool and cashmere. It's really warm. It's thin even though it's warm. So you see this is not really a bulky, you can see this is not a bulky knit. It's a thin knit, even though it's going to keep me warm. But that's really an aesthetic property of wool, which we'll find out when we get to wools. Okay. We see that it has good cover. So when we look at the more terms you need to know, we talk about cover. So it's not translucent. We really don't see through it, even though it's a darker color. But even if it was a lighter color, you don't see through it. It has a really good hand, so it feels good, but it does pill. So you can see that this has some pilling on it. So you can see that, again, when we get to wool, you'll understand why wool pills. Okay, so that is my sweater. Okay, we move on to knit. We move on to woven. I have a pair of pants here, a pair of woven pants here. They are this is what's known as a tweed weave on this pant. This pant also was wool. This one is a wool blend, though I don't know what the composition is. So feel free to go look into your fabric and see what the composition is. This one is 70% wool and 30% polyester, so it's a blend, but it's mostly wool, so it's going to take on the aesthetic properties of wool. This pant also it's a heavy pant. They say it's a long pant, but it's a heavy pant. And because of the aesthetic properties of wool, which you'll learn when you get to wool, so it's not imperative that you have this part in there. These pants do have a lining in it. In terms of when I just talked about hand a little while ago. In terms of hand, this one does have texture. So when you look at the pant, without you even being able to touch it, you can tell that the pant is not a flat weave. It has some texture to it. If I turn it to the side, you actually can see, you can see the texture in there. So all of these threads are not flat, right? So it does have, when you touch it, it has a textured hand, but it also has a textured appearance. Okay. All right. So that's what I'm looking for. I want you to explain your two pieces to the best of your ability, right? Of course, I have more knowledge than you do, so you don't have to use all of those same words. But I want you to pull in some of the words that are on that, on the more terms you need to know. So maybe hand, transparency, translucent, texture, those things. Pull those pieces in. Okay. I'm excited to see what you come up with, what you share with us, and then to respond to your classmates, just talk about what they talk about what they shared with their fabric. Okay, with their two garments, their knit and their woven. Okay. All right. Excited to see what you guys post.